Hey, what is going on, you ketchup guzzling guzzlord, coming at you with a Galvantula EX deck profile. I know, Shroud of Fable just came out, but leading up to Shroud of Fable, I was pretty bored of the current format. I did work on some Shrouded Fable builds, posted some of them here on the YouTube channel, and then I actually started working on some Stellar Miracle builds. I usually don't get this far ahead of myself in formats in the Pokemon TCG, but yeah, like I said, I was really bored leading up to the Shroud of Fable release, and I'll honestly probably be doing more stuff like this in the future. I've got some more Stellar Miracle builds to share with y'all. The next one will be like a Palkia build with the new Area 0. But before we jump into this one, gotta give a big shout out, as always, to Dragon Shield for sponsoring me and everything I do here on the channel with the content and as a competitor in the Pokemon TCG. They got a ton of gaming accessories, but I personally love them for their card sleeves. Big fan of the matte sleeves in general, and one of my go-to colors is usually the magenta, so the magenta matte sleeves is definitely something I recommend. Check them out, dragonshield.com. Link, of course, will be in the description, and you can use code AzulGG over there as well to get yourself a discount. So let's talk about this Galvantula EX first. Stage 1 Pokemon, 260 HP, and it is a Terra Pokemon. It's got that charged web attack for the first attack for Lightning and Colorless. 110 damage plus 110 more damage if our opponent's active is a Pokemon EX or Pokemon V. And then the second attack for a Grass Lightning Fighting, you do 180. Then you discard all energy attached to the Pokemon, but they can't play any item cards next turn. So super powerful item lock attack. We haven't had quite this powerful of an item lock attack in a long time, maybe since Quaking Punch. Now we do discard all the energy, so that's like kind of the thing that makes, that's the difficulty with this deck. For us to chain these item lock attacks turn after turn after turn, we need a lot of energy acceleration, and we'll get into that here, how we're doing that in a second. But to start off with, we do have 3 Galvantula EX, and then we have 4 Joltik as well, and the Joltik's actually got a really powerful attack itself. It's got that battery charge. So this build that I'm sharing with y'all here today is a build where I built it to choose to go second, and then our first attack for the game is going to be that battery charge. Search your deck for up to 2 basic grass energy and up to 2 basic lightning energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. So we're going to go second, turn 1 battery charge, get a bunch of energy in play, and then start chaining those Galvantula EX attacks. Now the Galvantula EX fully discards all the energy attached to it. There's this new tool card coming out in the Shrouded Fable set, actually, called the Power Hourglass, so it's already out by now. At the end of your turn, if the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot, you may attach a basic energy from your discard pile to your active. So we attack with our Galvantula. It has a Power Hourglass attached to it. We get 1 energy from the discard pile, we attach it to the Galvantula, and then on our next turn, our attachment for turn will be our second energy. We're still 1 energy short, though, so we still need to come up with 1 more energy to actually pull off the attack, and that's where the Blissey EX with the Glass Trumpets comes in. We've got a 3/3 Blissey EX here with the ability Happy Switch. It allows us to move 1 basic energy from any of our Pokemon to any of our other Pokemon. And we have 3 Chansey in here as well. The attack on the Blissey, I guess I'll mention, it's got return 180. You may draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. So we can use Blissey as an attacker, a closer in the deck. After we've already kind of item locked our opponent and drawn a couple prize cards, we can close out the game with Blissey. I'm going to move the Hourglass over here and move the Blissey down here. But the way we get extra energy in play to move around with the Blissey is through the Glass Trumpets. Choose up to 2 of your benched colorless Pokemon and attach a basic energy to each of them, as long as you have a Terra Pokemon in play, and the Galvantula is our Terra Pokemon we will have in play. So we set up a Galvantula through attacking with the Joltik. We attack with the Galvantula. Then we discard all of our energy. We get a Power Hourglass attached to it. We can also attach Return on our next turn. Ideally, we try and get 2 Blissey set up. Then we use those Glass Trumpets to accelerate energy to the Blissey, and then move the energy off the Blissey to our Galvantula. And then we can attack with Item Lock for like 4 turns, 5 turns in a row. And at some point, we might have to shift to attacking with Blissey or attacking with Galvantula's first attack when we can no longer chain the Item Lock attack. But the goal of the deck is going to be to item lock as much as we can to set our opponent as far back as we possibly can, and then close out the rest of the game by attacking with Blissey or attacking with Galvantula's first attack. The only other Pokemon we play in here is a 3/3 B-Barrel line. So I've theorized our bench wants to look like 2 Galvantula lines, so like 1 Joltik, 1 Galvantula, a 2/2 Blissey line, a mix of 2 Chansey / Blissey to begin with, and then 2 B-Barrel for draw power as well. So that's what I've theorized that we want our bench to look like in this deck. Set up 2 B-Barrel, set up 2 Blissey, set up 2 Galvantula, and then we kind of go from there. Now, to get everything set up, get everything cooking, I've gone with an Arven style build here. So we got 4 Arven in the deck. And a huge part of our setup, one thing you maybe have noticed, is all of our main Pokemon in the deck are stage 1 Pokemon. So Hyper Aroma is, I don't know, hyper effective in this deck. It can help us set up so many of our Pokemon on turn 2. It's like we get like double B-Barrel plus a Galvantula. We could get a Blissey, a B-Barrel, a Galvantula. We get 2 Galvantula and a Blissey. Whatever we need, Hyper Aroma can get it. So the deck is heavily built around Arven Hyper Aroma as the engine. I'm a huge fan. I love playing Hyper Aroma. To be honest, it might be like my favorite ace spec. I mean, Prime Catcher is good, but it's also kind of boring. For the rest of the draw support or supporters, we just have 4 Iono in here, kept it simple. I'm actually not sure how good Iono will be in an item lock deck like this, because we are item locking our opponent, so the only cards they can play are the other cards in their hand, and they'll probably be playing all of them into play pretty aggressively. So Ionoing our opponent just gives them more cards to potentially work with. So to be honest, Iono might not be that powerful in a deck like this. I'd have to test it, of course, to like fully feel it out, but I actually could see Iono not being that good. We play 3 switch. I actually think we maybe need to go up to 4 switch, because Blissey has 4 retreat cost. And yeah, if that thing gets stuck on the active, then we're not item lock chaining. So I think we might have to go up to 4 switch. We want a pretty heavy switch count because we want to get into our Joltik on our first turn to attack with that. And then we are item locking our opponent, so they're not going to be able to do very much besides attach energy, play Pokemon, and play supporters, which includes boss's orders. So if they can't attack for turn because we're item locking them, well, they may as well boss up our Blissey and hope that we whiff the item lock so they can get access to their items again. So I think we will probably want to go up to a 4th switch. Just currently rocking 3 for now. Once again, fully untested. So we do need to find energy in our deck for our attachment for turn to the Joltik or stuff like that. So I got a 1 of Earth and Vessel in here to help for that, or to help with that. Also, the Joltik only accelerates grass and fighting energy. Oh, excuse me, grass and lightning energy. So we do need a way to find our fighting energy. So that could be a big deal for the Earthen Vessel. We should maybe even include multiple Earthen Vessel in the deck. I just have 1 in here for right now. For the Pokemon search, for Buddy Buddy Poffin finds the Joltik, finds the Bidoof, does not find the Chansey, but Chansey is something we don't need immediately. If we go second and turn 1 attack with Joltik and load up a bunch of energy on our other Joltiks, we don't even need a Chansey in play that turn. On the next turn is when we'd want to get some Chanseys in play, and I do have 3 Nest Balls to help with that. But the important stuff is getting the Joltiks and the Bidoofs established first. Blissey we can worry about a little bit later on. Also got some Ultra Balls in here, a little bit low on the Ultra Balls maybe. It is a B-Barrel engine deck, which means we need to clear out our hand to be able to continuously draw cards with our B-Barrel. So possibly we want to increase that Ultra Ball count just a little bit. Of course, the Hyper Aroma can find us a ton of our stage 1s. It's not so much about finding Pokemon by playing more Ultra Ball, but more so about having more cards in our deck that can help us thin out our hand, so that way we can draw more cards with our B-Barrel. 2 Boss's Orders, definitely still want some form of Gust Effect for sure, so we got 2 of those in here. For the recovery, all I have is a 1 of Night Stretcher right now. I can't imagine we'd really need that much recovery. We're slowing our opponent down through item lock. You know, we have 3 Galvantulas. That's enough to potentially win the game itself. Just Galvantula, Galvantula, Galvantula. We maybe want to include a Super Rod or another Night Stretcher. The nice thing about the Night Stretcher, especially with chaining the attack of the Galvantula over and over and over, is we can Arven for Night Stretcher and then use Night Stretcher to recover energy from our discard pile to be able to attack on our next turn. So Night Stretcher basically becomes like an item search for energy through the Arven, which can be pretty nice. To help us not drop our attacks and chain our attacks from there. And then for the actual energy account itself, of course, we have to attack. So currently I just have a 3-3-3 count in here. It's actually not that many energy. It's only 9 energy overall. This is something we might want to increase a little bit as well. If we don't increase this, we still, like I said, maybe want to increase the Earthen Vessel count, Night Stretcher count. Those are both outs to energy as well. One thing you maybe didn't know, or you noticed that I didn't play, and I've already had a lot of people question me about this when they've looked at this build, is where's the Radiant Greninja? And the answer is we just don't play enough energy to play Radiant Greninja, I don't think. Like on that first turn, when we use the battery charge, we're going to attach energy to Joltik, and then we're going to put 4 energy in play. That's 5 of our 9 energy already in play, theoretically, on the first turn. And then after that, we want to attach for turn after, or attach for turn each turn after that, as well as we do want to try and set up 2 B-Barrel, 2 Blissey, 2 Galvantula. We actually just don't have bench space for anything else. And if we go up against a deck that has Area 0, well, I mean, then we would theoretically have some room to play with around ourselves. I don't think this deck needs or really has room to include Area 0 to increase our bench size, but it wouldn't be a terrible inclusion. It would allow us to play something like the Radiant Greninja, as well as something maybe like a Squelvet, something that combos really, really well with B-Barrel to increase its draw power. So those would all be theoretical inclusions that could be included, but currently not rocking them. Pretty content with the way the build looks so far, but I'm sure I'll make changes to it when I actually get my hands on the cards, test it out, try it out, and so on. All right, let's run through a quick test hand here, quick solitaire game. I'm all shuffled up, And with this deck, I think we do want to be choosing to go second so we can pull off that turn 1 attack with the Joltik and get a bunch of energy established that. So we're going to go ahead and pretend we're going second here. And opening hand looks pretty good to me. Let's go and see what our top deck is. The only thing I feel like this hand is missing here, to be honest, is another Buddy Poffin. So that's what I'm hoping for on the top deck. Got the Galvantula, though. Can't complain too much. That's not terrible. So I can go with the Buddy Poffin here. And this kind of hand, I feel like we got to save the Arven for... Got to save that Arven for the Aroma, which is in the deck. So off the Buddy Poffin here, I think we got to go Joltik. And then also a Bidoof. Got both those. And then I'm not sure. Depends what energy our prize for which energy we'd probably want to commit here. And we could go play the Arven now as well. I guess I'm going to go ahead and do that. And search ourselves out that Hyper Aroma and a Power Hourglass. We're like one basic Pokemon short here. We would like one more basic Pokemon here. Get cooking. Unfortunately, not exactly the start we want, but you know, it's not terrible. So we'll grab those to hand. That way we can play as a Porter next turn if we wanted to. And I don't know, I'll commit the Fighting Energy here. We'll use that battery charge, and I'm not sure. This is something like I would have to like figure out through actually playing games with this deck if we can afford to play it this way. I'm about to play it, but like theoretically, we only ever want one Lightning and one Grass on our Joltik because we discard all the energy to attack. So assuming our active Joltik is going to get KO'd, which I think is fair, I could load up this energy on the Bidoof. We could just like leave it in the deck as well. But as we set up Blissey's, we can move this energy off the Bidoof. And that's like one less glass that we have to use to actually continue to play the game. So let's go with that. And go back to my hand here. Actually, for my hand that I have here, instead of getting the Hyper Aroma, we probably should have gotten an Ultra Ball. Because we'd be able to like get B-Barrel, thin out the hand, and then go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and pretend I got an Ultra Ball instead. Put the Aroma back in. That's good enough. All right, so our opponent, like I said, probably knocks out our Joltik. Goodbye, Joltik. Unfortunate. Kind of sad. Whatever it happens, it's got to go. And with this hand as well, before I send up the Joltik, we have the switch card that we probably want to burn. So currently, we could attach the Fighting for turn, the Hourglass, and Evolve. I guess I could Ultra Ball away both of these, and then we don't have to get rid of our top deck. So I guess I'll push the Joltik here, and then I'll draw for turn. It is a Buddy Poffin. That's pretty sick. So we can go through this. We need to start to set up towards the Chanseys and also just like more draw power from our B-Barrel line. So I think I'm going to go Chansey Bidoof. Now this will be one of those situations where it's like, okay, do we think our... Oh, no, wait. We can't Buddy Poffin for the Chansey. That's right. So we do need to find Chanseys, but I guess I can't do it that way. I almost cheated there. Let's go with the Joltik. So that is something we need to find. We do need to find some Chanseys here. We're going to go back in with that Ultra Ball here as well. And yeah, we'll get rid of the switch and the grass energy there. Get rid of both of those. Get ourselves a B-Barrel. And yeah, the B-Barrel has all that energy on it, which is not exactly what we want, but it'll be fine. Try and get some Blissey's down, move that energy off. So a Chansey here is super important to actually chain our Galvantula attack. So we got the Galvantula, Fighting Energy, Hourglass, Power Hourglass, and then we're going to go ahead and B-Barrel for 5. And 5, not terrible. We got the Chansey, and then we go ahead and we use our attack. We could also actually use this Hourglass here, or not the Hourglass, the Glass Trumpet if we wanted to. We go ahead and say we could use that and just go ahead and load up some energy and play on our colorless Pokemon because we do have a Terra Pokemon in play in the Galvantula. And then we would attack with our Galvantula 180, item lock, and then immediately we would recover an energy. I don't actually know what kind of energy types we have left. Most of our Lightning and Grass is gone, so let's go for Grass. We would maybe have one Fighting left in the deck. That gets recovered immediately. And let's say we item locked them. Let's say they don't actually... or are unable to actually knock out our Galvantula here. Maybe we didn't get a prize card, though. So we item locked them. Go through this one more time. Draw for turn into the Arven. Okay. So we'll start with Vessel, away the Bidoof. Let's see if I made the correct choice on that energy. Lightning. So So I'm just going to go for, honestly, in this situation, ooh, we have a really good play here. We can take both of those. We'll clog up our hand a little bit, but then we can Arven, grab ourselves the Power Hourglass and that Hyper Aroma. And we're going to go back in with that Hyper Aroma, get ourselves a Blissey, a Bidoof, B-Barrel, excuse me, and another Galvantula. Looks like we prized one of our Galvantulas there, but that's super efficient with that Aroma use there. We are cooking now. B-Barrel, Galvantula, Blissey. Put this one on the other Galvantula. Attachment for turn. B-Barrel number 1 to draw 3. Ooh, okay, the Nest Ball's good. We did need to start to build up towards that next Blissey, and now we can do that as we get the Chansey off of this Nest Ball. And I could play another, I mean, why not, right? Glass Trumpet again, I guess. For a Lightning and we have so much energy in play. Holy smokes. This is actually insane. And I guess B-Barrel number 2 for 2. We've already attached for turn. Draw 1, draw 2. All right. Sounds good. Now we can use the Blissey. I don't know. We have a lot of energy to choose from here. I'm going to go ahead and say we need to get a Lightning, though. It does have to be a Lightning up to our Galvantula. And there we go. Lightning off the B-Barrel. And once again, we attack 180 item lock. At this point, we're probably drawing 2 prize cards, right? And then put the grass energy back. And then off the prize cards, we got another Blissey and a Glass Trumpet. And we can continue to chain the 180 item lock attack here. Draw power in the B-Barrels. Backup attacker in the other Galvantula, and then energy, mobility to combo with our acceleration in the Blisseys. And that's an opening start solitaire game there with the Galvantula EX. I'll catch y'all in the next video.